How's it going? Welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name is Dylan.
I'm Liz. Hey.
This is Liz, and together we are talking about 10 reasons why your passengers don't tip you. So a lot of my videos have been, here are extra ways to get more tips, but we wanted to address reasons why your passengers are not tipping you. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comment section below what you think. Give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, and let's talk about what is the Rideshare Hub first before we get into this. The Rideshare Hub is a place for Uber and for Lyft drivers, anyone working gig economy like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. There's a couple more like Instacart. We have videos on all those, but why don't you introduce yourself really quickly?
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a frequent Uber and Lyft rider, and so I thought I'd give you guys rider's insight.
Yeah, I brought her along because she's the passenger. Sorry, forgot to specify that.
All good. I ride a lot, and I've experienced a lot of different drivers, their styles, and we're here to basically give you 10 reasons that you should change to get better tips, or maybe why you're not getting tipped.
Yeah. Plain enough. Why don't you introduce? Did you already say a fun fact about yourself?
I did not.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Okay.
Put you on the spot here.
I've been to 16 different countries.
16?
Yes.
Jeez, I gotta step up my game. What's your favorite country?
Favorite's tough, but one of my most memorable ones.
Memory?
I loved Costa Rica. That was really cool. They're one of the most biodiverse areas in the whole world. They're very peaceful people. The food's great. Love the animals and plants. So if you're looking for somewhere different, go Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're going to get straight into this video. We're going to keep this as short as we can. Because I know I ramble way too much. But here are 10 reasons why your passengers are not tipping you. Okay? Tip number 1. Or maybe not tip.
Reason number 1.
Reason. Sorry, thank you. Reason number 1 is because you're running... Well, you want to share this one? Because this happened to you, right? Or your friend or something? The gas thing?
Oh, yeah. My friend was driving, and mid-ride, the driver's like, oh yeah, sorry, I gotta get some gas, and went in the gas station, and it took a couple minutes, and she obviously wanted to get there safely, but it's I don't know why I'm taking 5 minutes out of my day for you to get gas. That's not it's your job, but it kind of is to be prepared for your riders.
Get gas, if you're driving for Uber or Lyft, get gas the night before, or before you start driving at all. Don't be like, oh yeah, I'll get gas, halfway, because what if you get a ride and it's 60 miles long?
True,
you might get stuck or run out of gas. I mean, you might get, I don't know, you get deactivated for that probably. I don't know the whole laws on running out of gas during a trip, but I'm sure it's happened and I'm sure it didn't go smoothly. So if you're joining us, thank you for joining. Leave your comments or your questions. We can do some Q&A as well. Ask.
If you have any questions for me, ask. Feel free.
Yeah, or if you're on the replay, we'll go back and reply to some comments. But So the reason number 2 is why your passengers are not tipping you is because your car stinks.
Have a fresh car, make sure people leave something, you pick it up the night after the ride. As a rider, you want a clean and safe environment, so don't be gross.
Yeah. Didn't you get into a car recently that smelled like a locker room or something?
Honestly, the smell's still with me, and that's horrifying to think about. But yeah, no, it was literally the smell was in the seats. It was that bad. Just make sure your car's clean.
Yeah. The rideshare hacker. What's up, dude? So I don't know if he's talking to me or you. He said dude. So probably...
Maybe it's an ambiguous, dude?
A dude, yeah. Is dude female or male, specifically? His name's Nicholas, actually. Him and I actually know him, so... But yeah. All right. Yeah, and this is with air fresheners, too. Don't have crazy air fresheners. Keep your car neutral smelling. I
agree.
I know Chris from the Real Rideshare Stories. He's been on this channel before. He talked about... He keeps his car neutral smelling, so... There's these charcoal. Have you seen these things? They're charcoal. Let me go on Amazon really quick. You can get these neutral. I actually bought this because when I bought my car, the girl who I bought it from, she's my friend. But she's like, maybe she's watching this, but basically she had a dog in her car, and it was like, really smelled like dog. And so I was like, and I'm allergic to dogs, so I was like, how do I get this dog smell out of the car? And let's see, it's like charcoal smelling car. It's like absorbing for your car.
Huh. Definitely neutral is important because you don't want to have too many smells, either good or bad. So.
Yeah, it's this thing right here. So you can get this. I had never heard about it. I had to do all this research, so now you don't have to. But just like, I don't know, I even spelled it wrong and it still came up. But it's like this natural absorber. So you put it in your car, and like all the fume, it like attracts all the fumes somehow.
Well, hey, if it works, you might as well do it.
It literally worked because I was trying everything. Like I got my car detailed because there's like hair everywhere.
That dog hair is.
Yeah, I got it detailed. I got it. I don't know. I was using like these air fresheners, but that thing actually worked. And it was like, yeah. This is not sponsored at all by them. Would be cool if they did, but yeah.
Not yet.
Rideshare Hacker says, don't forget to shower. That would be smart. Yeah, remember to shower.
Personal hygiene's important.
Brush your teeth. You know.
Deodorant.
Have you ever talked to somebody with bad breath and you're just like, stop talking?
Yeah.
Who was I talking to? I had a meeting with somebody the other day, and like, they just, every time they open their mouth, I just smelled this like whiff. I was like, all right, sorry, I gotta run to my next meeting. All right, so reason number 3. Reason number 3 why your passengers aren't tipping you. You want to take care of this one?
Yeah, reason number 3, when a rider's in the car, don't talk on the phone with someone else unless it's an emergency. Because honestly, I've been sitting in the back and I'll hear someone talk and I'm like, oh yeah, hi. Like, no, sorry, talking to my wife. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, as a rider, that made me feel uncomfortable. But 2, like, as a passenger, you want to make sure you're going to get there safely. And like, distracted driving is such a thing, whether it's like checking your phone for playing music, text, whatever. Like, try to be hands-free as possible. Hands-free, yeah. Also, can you guys hear me, and are we all clear and stuff? If it's clear, comment 1, the number 1, and if it's not clear, comment 2. That way I know if it's working. Backseat driver says, who has the time to shower when Uber makes you work 80 hours a week? In the commercials for Uber, the driver was talking on the phone. Oh, well. I guess he wasn't getting a tip for that one. Probably not, yeah. Rideshare Hacker Uno. Okay, it's working. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. We really appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun being live. I've never been live on YouTube before. We have a total of 10 viewers. We're getting famous. Hey, 10 viewers, 10 tips. Some of you guys followed her on Instagram. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to leave my guest's Instagram on anymore. Unless you want the followers. Kara or Owen says hi. Hello. All right. Yeah, just try not to talk on your phone. If you really do need to talk on your phone, maybe just like give your passenger a heads up. Be like, hey, I really need to take a call. They'll be fine with it. It's just common courtesy to let your passengers know. Or if you do need to make like a business call where you're like talking really loud, probably during a ride is not the best time to do that. And plus you're going to be distracted too, you know. Because when you're taking your passengers on a trip, they want to know that you're 100% focused on the road and you're not like getting distracted. So if you're talking, it kind of shows them that you're not really paying attention too much, or 100%. And that goes back to what we were talking in our last video that will be uploaded probably tomorrow was, when you get into your car, when a passenger gets into your car, they're trusting you with their life. Oh yeah, like you are the precious, like your rider is your precious cargo. You need to make sure that you're getting there from plan A to plan B and accidents happen, but your job as a driver is to avoid those accidents or more accidents from happening, Definitely. A passenger very much appreciates getting there in one piece, maybe a minute or so late versus trying to save 2 minutes and Definitely. Then you end up hitting someone else and it's a whole hour. Yeah, your passengers don't care if they're 2 minutes later than the time that they would have gotten to. What else was I going to say? But yeah, and then also if you maybe you're thinking, oh, I need to get there faster so I can get another ride pickup. I mean, if you're only saving 2-3 minutes
per hour, it's not really that much time. So the real talk, I just started doing Lyft for my full-time job. My daily goal is $85 a day. Yesterday I got $124 for almost 5 hours. Is this reasonable, or do you think I shouldn't do it full-time? 120. Are you good at math?
I have my calculator.
124 divided by 5. What's that? 20. That's almost, what is that?
That's almost $25 an hour.
So it's around $25 an hour. That's pretty normal. You can probably expect that to make $25 an hour. Hey, what I always tell people, if you're thinking about doing full time, try it out part time at first, because you don't know, you don't know if you're gonna enjoy doing it for 40. Driving 40 hours. You can talk to people who do it full time. It's pretty grueling on the body. You're sitting down in your car. It's definitely not for everyone. And I like to tell people that. I don't want you to quit your job and do it full time, and then a month into it, you're like, I cannot do this. So I would definitely suggest doing it part-time, even get like a normal job and then do it on get a 9 to 5 or whatever, and then do it on the weekends or something. See if you like it. And then if you want to slowly transition, then you can do that. Let's see. I feel like pastors have too much power. Yeah. So like I said, we're making this video. You don't need to follow this at all. This, you can do the bare minimum, but these types of videos, like why your pastors aren't tipping you or how to get your pastors to tip you more, this is all extra. You don't need to do this stuff. This is just if you want to make extra money.
But I feel like as a driver, you do want to make extra money, so
yeah, that's why we're working, right?
No, definitely. But I do feel like, yes, the passenger does have a lot of power, but you want to, the service essentially is for the passenger.
Exactly.
That is tough. But
it's built for them. They should have a lot of power. You're literally transporting them and trying to make them, you're keeping them alive. Putting them in a car. And driving is accidents happen a lot. And driving is one of the most dangerous things you can do with your life.
The chances of getting killed in a car crash is way higher than a plane crash,
Yeah, so passengers are trusting you, so they should, it's you and the passenger. I think you guys have equal power. Is this a side or interim job, not full-time? This is a side or interim job, not full-time. Yeah, some people do it full-time, some people do it part-time. I had a false report. I would try to explain yourself. But yeah, also like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You can do Lyft and Uber, and then I don't know, or do a full-time job as well, or another part-time job. Okay, moving on. I'll get back to the comments in a second, but reason number 4 why your passengers aren't tipping you.
Don't text and drive. Make sure that as the driver, you are responsible. You're on the road. You're paying attention. Your passenger wants to make sure they're getting there safely. Everyone thinks, oh, it's okay if I check an email, check a text. But in reality, when your eyes are off the road for 10 seconds, a lot could happen. And that would ultimately change your life and your passenger's life too. If you accidentally hit someone or killed someone, I know it seems like not a long time, but it's real and it happens to so many people. Accidents are preventable.
All it takes is half of a second.
Literally half
looking
of a
off
second.
the road, and then all of a sudden, boom. So literally, don't even think about it. Don't think about using your phone at all. This is serious stuff. So if you guys are just joining us, this is Liz. She is a passenger of Uber and Lyft frequently, so I wanted to bring her on to get her take, because I think it is really important. Even if you're a driver, take a ride as a passenger to get the experience from the other side. It's really going to show you how other drivers are performing, and it kind of puts you in your passenger's shoes. So I wanted to bring her on to get her passenger perspective on why she tips or why she doesn't tip, and whether or not she can confirm these myths. She's the myth buster.
Well, thank you. But honestly, texting and driving is a big one for me. There was a girl in my high school, she was killed from a distracted driving incident. And
Really?
So that's something that touches home. And for a lot of people, there's a lot of things. So please, please, please don't look at your phone unless it's for navigation.
Wow. Yeah. This is serious stuff. So, and if it is for navigation, make sure you also have something that's hands-free.
Like the sound, that one's good.
The sound, yeah, the sound, or like if it's on your window or your dashboard, or like you can get a little attachment that goes into your air filter or the AC portion. Don't ever keep your phone like on your lap and look down at the navigation. So yeah, that's really important, guys. Okay. Do you have anything else to say on that one, or?
Well, I think we've covered it. Just be a smart driver.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, imagine if either you have kids or you don't, or someone really near and close to you, would you feel safe with them driving with someone that's texting? I certainly wouldn't.
Definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, picture your family member like being in a car, and if you want that driver to be texting and driving, like and actually, like, I can touch on this on a second, because I do like to bring in the business and the technological sides of this. And with technological advancements, cars are becoming much more safer. However, also on the sides of technology, people are texting and driving way more. So it's literally offsetting. Like accidents should be way less, but they're almost just as frequent because people are texting and driving so much.
I mean, when I was 16 and I started driving like 6 years ago, I got an fender bender because I checked my phone while driving. Mm-hmm. And like there wasn't a passenger in my car, thankfully, but you just have to be literally eyes on the road. Eyes on the road,
yeah. Pay full attention. And if that means like also like going along with that, if that means like not talking to your passengers, because you, at the end of the day, you know yourself. If you're going to talk to your passengers, if that's going to distract you, like tell them like, hey, look, I want to drive as safely as possible. Sorry, I can't, talk to you right now. Like, you know yourself the best. So, yeah.
And even when you're on the road, you have to be a defensive driver. Kind of like I saw Rebecca's commenting, like people do cut you off, go whatever. Like not Even if you're paying attention, doing everything right, things can still happen. So like I said, you're essentially being a defensive driver out on the road.
Yeah, always be defensive. Yeah. No sound on my GPS. That's annoying. Yeah, I mean, do what works for you, but be safe. Let's see. You also need to work in a major market to make any kind of real money. Yeah, it depends on where you live. Obviously, if you live in a city, you're gonna have more trip requests. Rate cuts. They need to compensate this on automatic tipping starting at $1. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do automatic tipping ever. Yeah, restaurants don't even do that. I mean, some do, like.
I don't think they're gonna do automatic tipping just from a passenger's point of view. Honestly, I wouldn't tip you if you did one of these things. Like, I think it's unfair because I think those drivers that really do put the extra effort, that they obviously are getting tipped and should get tipped, and those that put the bare minimum in, you're probably not gonna get tipped.
Yeah, exactly. Sam Smith. Oh, Dylan, hey, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for hoping that I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. Wait a minute, who is she? Liz, she's a passenger. Uber and Lyft passenger.
Yes.
Okay. Reason number 5. Reason number 5 that your passenger is not tipping you is that you're not talking to them. Yeah, if you're, we kind of went over this a little bit, but you're not talking. If you don't greet your passenger, you don't talk to them at all, you kind of just ignore them completely, that's just, your passengers are not going to tip you.
I mean, you need to acknowledge them. Like, let's say I was a driver and Dylan got in my car, I'd be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, see, you've got a bag, where are you headed to the airport? Like, you're going to the airport, like, oh, where are you headed? Mm-hmm. And he might be like one of two ways, like, oh, cool, I'm going to Florida, like, have you been? That's when a driver should engage. But if he's just like, yeah, Florida, then I probably wouldn't engage. Definitely. You have to find this fine line between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, like, at least like saying, hey, what's up, or like, hey, how are you, is really like establishes that kind of connection, or that, connection with somebody. Yeah, I feel like we're repeating ourselves because we just made a video on like ways to get tips, which we haven't published yet, but now we're doing reasons not to. But we were like saying that if you're sitting next to somebody, sometimes it's like 20-30 minute trip, And if your driver doesn't even say hello, it's like...
It feels awkward. It feels weird.
Yeah, just imagine you're sitting on a plane ride, and maybe you, like... If I get onto a plane, and I'm sitting next to somebody, say Liz is my, like, whatever, co-passenger on the plane. Like, if I'm going to sit next to her and, like, all right, we're going to freaking Dublin. It's a 13-hour flight. I'm at least going to say...
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Like, all right, let's... Well, I mean, probably not going to, like, get into a full conversation, but I'm at least going to acknowledge her and be like, hey, how are you? Like, just sitting down awkwardly. It's just awkward. So, yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just put yourself in the passenger shoes. Like we talked about in our other video, you don't know what that passenger has gone through that day. They could have totally, like, done well in an interview. Someone could have passed away in the family. You really just have to read the room and see the vibes. Yeah,
exactly. So, the Real Talk says, I always try to talk to my passengers, but there's some passengers that just don't want to talk. Would you recommend still attempting to try and talk to them or leave them alone?
For me, I think if it's pretty clear they don't want to talk, I would leave them alone. But, like, maybe if you're unsure, maybe ask one more question. If they're still giving you this vibe but they don't want to talk, then I would let it be. Or we talked about in the ways to get tips, maybe you offer them a water or offer them a mint and see how they respond.
Yeah. And so I came up, my method for this is I created 2 questions. Well, I didn't create them, but I came up with 2 questions to ask your passengers to see if they want to talk with you. Whenever you start a trip, you always ask them, hey, what's your name? You never assume what their name is because that you can lead to complications. So you always say, hey, what's your name? So it's actually 3 questions. Say, hey, what's your name?
I'd be like, hi, I'm Liz.
Be like, all right, yep, I can confirm on my side you're Liz. You can come into my car. If you want to keep your doors locked and do that through the window, that's totally fine.
Definitely keep yourself safe. Safety is
keep
number
yourself
1.
safe. So you can keep your doors locked, roll down the window and be like, hey, what's your name? And then she says, Liz. All right, she comes in my car. Then I look at her, I smile, I say, hey, how are you?
I'd say, oh, I'm good. I just got back from the movies.
I'd be like, and then, at that point, I already know, like, she kind of wants to talk because she brought something up. So then I would be like, oh, what movie did you see?
And then I'd say, oh, I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you seen it? Now, if I was just like, oh, yeah, I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, so this way, the fact that she brought up she went to the movies kind of indicates that she wants to talk. However, let's do this the other way. If I say, hey, how are you? And she responds like you can respond. She responds really, like, dully. I don't know if dully is a real word, but if she responds like, she just says... Not enthusiastic. I was just like, it's fine.
Okay, so let's try that out. Hey, how are you?
That's okay.
So now I'm like 95% sure she doesn't want to talk, but I'll even ask a follow-up question just light. I'll be like, how's your day been?
It's whatever.
So, okay, now I definitely know she doesn't want to talk, and literally all you say is, okay, let me know if you need anything, and then you just drive. You don't say anything at all. You might ask them, like, is the AC fine or whatever, but if she follows up, she wants to talk, then you can talk to her. But that's my method. You can create your own, but that has worked for me a lot. Anyone offer candy for their passenger? You can offer mints and stuff. I know some people get crazy with, like, gummy bears and stuff. I think that stuff is a little overboard. Waters is pretty good.
I think waters is the number one thing because waters are safe, because I know, like, some people are kind of, like, sussed out, like, oh my gosh, what if something, like, happened with, like, the food? But, like, I think waters, you're safe. But, like, I agree with Dylan. Like, I'd probably just stick to, like, mints or something. I wouldn't go, like, individual bag chips, keep it simple.
Yeah, and for the most part, people are not going to take that stuff. People will take the waters, though. Treat others how you want to be treated. Be respectful. Yes. Good job, Rebecca. You get a gold star.
That would get you a tip.
Definitely. That just goes for everyday life, but definitely in the car as well. Dash cams are important. Have you ever noticed some drivers have dash cams or no?
Is that where you can kind of see the back of... I think I have seen
that. It's a camera that they keep up front.
Okay.
And it records the trip. Have you seen that or no?
I have seen that. Well, I'm curious, why do drivers have that? Do you know?
It's for safety reasons.
Okay.
So, like, if something happens during the trip, it's recorded. If like, a driver... I don't know, if the passenger reports you, if, like, some passengers make false reports and say, oh, my driver was drunk, to try to get a free ride. And then, like, Lyft and Uber take that really seriously. So like they're gonna.
Well, yeah, If you feel like you need to protect, then definitely protect yourself.
Or like safety reasons, like some passengers are pretty sus out there, and so like dash cams are really mostly for like the police to look at if something serious does happen. Then you have that footage, and then also on the other hand, it's for accidents. If you get into an accident, like sometimes the biggest thing is when dash cams come in. Become helpful is if the person in front of you, sometimes if you're on a hill, they'll like slide down they'll roll down the hill and hit you, and then usually if you get into a fender bender, the person in the back, it's always their fault, right? So like they'll try to blame you for that, but if you have a dash cam, then it can show like, oh, he hit me, it's obviously not my fault.
Definitely get a lot of comments.
Yeah, there's some dash cams that just have 24-hour surveillance, and if your car's parked and gets hit and like the person doesn't even know, then you can it helps that. So definitely dash cams are good. You get what you pay for. You can find one on Amazon. I do dash cam giveaways on my channel every so often. I'll probably do one again soon. So I've given away 10 dash cams so far.
Oh.
Yeah, they're really, they're helpful a lot for drivers. So let's see. Sometimes I have small bottles of water and Jolly Ranchers, but I think it's how they are feeling if you give tips. Actually, if I was a pastor and they had Jolly Ranchers, I might, if it's like, I might actually take one because I like Jolly Ranchers, but.
I think it's definitely how they feel and it's their experience. They're getting a good experience. Like if I went in a car and like had a good time, I'm feeling good, I'm going to give a tip. Just because I'm not feeling good and this experience was good, that shouldn't halt your rider from giving you a tip. It's not your fault they're having a bad day,
Mm-hmm, definitely. Cool. Kara says, gotcha. Abdullah Rabi, hi there. I like your channel. Thank you. Thank you for following. I really appreciate all the support, you guys. Do dash cams make them feel weird?
If you're worried about that, I would tell your passenger, like, hey, just letting you know I have a dash cam. This is just for safety reasons. Yeah. I just wanted to let you be aware of that. Because if you just explain it to them, like, if I heard that, I'd be like, oh, okay, like, it's for safety purposes. This isn't for, like, filming me or whatever. I think that would create, like, a nice, even, like, playing field.
And actually, like, dash cams can work in your favor. A lot of passengers appreciate, and now that I know like why drivers use dash cams, like you might need to do a little bit of educating, because I know how dash cams can be like, it records the whole trip. As a passenger, I actually feel like safe that the driver is like actually going out of his way and he knows it's all being recorded. So if anything does happen, like the footage is there. But yeah, so I think at some point like dash cams might be more commonplace in Uber and Lyft, but yeah. Powerlifting Rideshare Guy future world record. It's a great username. Are you a powerlifter? I picked up a ride. About 5 minutes into the ride, I found out she was only 16. I just went to finish the ride, but I should have done something else. So
is there a minimum age for
18?
Oh, I didn't know. Is that recent or no?
Nope. That's in the TOS, terms of service, for Uber and Lyft.
I was definitely riding a lot of Ubers when I was in high school under 18. Like a long time ago.
Do you have anyone over 18 in the car? No. Did your mom like book it for you or something?
No, we did it ourselves.
Oh, you figured out a way.
Yeah, I was like a senior.
Did you have to like find a way to do that, or they just let you do it?
Honestly, back then, I mean, this was like 6 years ago.
Oh, Cara Owens just gave me a super chat. Thank you, Cara. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it was just way back then. You just would sign up and like put your credit card and name, and that was it.
Huh. Maybe they did. Maybe that is like.
I don't think that. I don't remember. It probably did change, but yeah, I definitely did some Ubers when I wasn't. 18 yet.
Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the live stream, and if you have enjoying this guest passenger, and if everything's going smooth, give the chat a thumbs up. It helps me a lot because it helps more people see the video, and YouTube will promote the video. So give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Okay. And thank you, Cara, for the super chat. I had a rider cross the line, and I want to feel safe. Yeah, so basically what happens is that, so you can't accept anyone under 18. What you can do if, they look 16 or something, you can ask them, hey, are you 18? If they say no, you'd be like, well, sorry, I'm not allowed to accept passengers under 18. And actually, like, this is literally, what is it called? Case in point? Is that how you say that? That's how the phrasing goes. A lot of passengers don't know that. They don't know that you have to be 18.
I had no idea. I mean, I'm 22, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you, like, a lot of passengers just won't know. So, like, you can actually tell them, like, hey, sorry, like, don't assume everyone knows, because, not everyone out there is Uber and Lyft experts. Like, they don't know everything. So they'd be like, oh, I've never heard that. And a lot of drivers actually do accept passengers who are underage. So, like, they might even be like, oh, yeah, no, I mean, I've never had a problem with that. But if you get caught, you will get deactivated. It's completely against terms of service. And it's illegal too. So, like, the thing is with Uber and Lyft insurance, they don't cover any accidents if your passenger's under 18 because you're breaking their terms of service. So if you get into an accident and the passenger's under 18, you're liable for all damages on your own. Have fun with that.
I would follow Dylan's advice on that. Honestly, there's no harm in asking a passenger, like, because if they tell you they're 18 and they're not, they told you otherwise. That's not your fault. You know what I mean? But if they say, oh, I'm 15, you know that she's 15 or he's 15, that is going to be your fault.
Yeah, and if they say they're 18 and they're clearly like 11 years old, you can be like, all right, well, show me some ID. You can ask for their ID. And if they say, oh, I don't have an ID, you're like, well, exactly. You're not 18. You don't have an ID. If you're 18, you have an ID and you're carrying it around with you. And if you really don't feel safe, you don't need to accept them. Like, you can literally just say, I don't think they're 18. Leia Bell, what's up? Cubby the cat, hi. Rebecca Fortney, y'all are great. Thanks. Gotta get back on the road. See ya.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca. Have fun out there. I'm in the Inland Empire in California, and so far so good. Like I said, $124 yesterday and $40 today so far. What areas would you recommend for more money? Inland Empire. I'm pretty sure that's like San Bernardino area. I'm not exact. San Bernardino, Riverside, I think. I would just go to like highly populated areas. Like, go where people are hanging out a lot. Go to the airports. Like, hang around the airports where people are. You can download an app called Rider. It shows you all the events in your area. It's specifically for rideshare drivers. Yeah, but look up events in your area.
I just saw Daniel Addison's comment, and we talked about that earlier. It's true. Like, we always said as a driver, you should acknowledge your passengers. Just smile, be friendly, like,
yeah,
they're your cargo, so be careful and be safe.
Definitely. Yeah, and you think about, like, why you go to a restaurant and you tip your server rather than, like, going to a fast food place. Like, so if you go to a fast food place, you're expecting that. You don't,
Speedy,
no one's waiting on you. You go to McDonald's, they're going to throw you a bag of food. Like, it's whatever. You don't really care. Even if the food's, like, kind of cold. You're like, whatever. This is normal. But if you go to a restaurant and your food's cold, you're complaining. You're going to be like, yo, what the heck? And at the same time, like, you have a server waiting on you. Hey, do you need anything? Do you need some more water? They're literally coming around refilling your water. Like, that's the kind of experience where you're going to tip them. So you want to kind of think of restaurants serving like a good server and translate that into the...
Well, yeah, Uber and Lyft are service providers, so you want to be a good server.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Tip number... Did we go over 6 yet?
No, we haven't hit 6 yet.
Okay. Do you want to introduce
Tip number
this one?
6. Sometimes you might be, as a driver, talking... I'll take over, I guess, for a little bit. You might be talking too much. And I know there's a hard, like, balance between... Yeah, that'd be great. Talking too little and talking too much, but like we said before, you kind of have to feel the vibe. Like, let's say I was a driver and I picked up Dylan and I said, hey, what's your name? And he said, Dylan. I said, okay, let's get in the car. And then I'm like, how was your day? And if he says, good, how was yours? Then that's a cue to keep engaging with the conversation. If Dylan was just like, it's good, I'd maybe ask one more question to make sure see if he wanted to talk. And then if he said something else that kind of clearly shut down the conversation, thank you, I wouldn't keep talking. So read the room, see how it goes. I know, like I said, fine line between talking too much and talking too little, but you'll experience the environment when you're in your car with that passenger, I think.
Definitely. Yeah, I have no idea what you just said, but...
They were asking the fine line between, like, talking too much and talking too little as well over some of the stuff we already said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One time I took a ride as a passenger, and this was a bad example. My driver, It was pretty early in the morning. I was pretty tired. I think I had a headache. My driver just kept going. I was like being nice to her, and I was like, she's like, "Oh yeah, I travel the whole world." Like out of nowhere, she just says that, and I'm like, "Cool. Where have you been?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I went to Morocco, blah blah blah." She started going on for 30 minutes about how she almost got kidnapped in Morocco.
Oh my gosh.
I literally didn't care at all. And I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, is it that rude to say, like, can you be quiet? Like, try to focus the conversation on the passenger.
I agree with that. And if the passenger engages with you, then you can talk about yourself, but don't make the conversation entirely about yourself. Yeah. That's just my experience.
There's this really good book, guys. If you want to dive into more of this, there's this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's by Dale Carnegie. This is not sponsored because the guy's no longer alive. But this was the first book ever written on communication. And basically what Dale Carnegie says, he brings up all these examples of like Theodore Roosevelt and like all these great progressive leaders and other leaders throughout our nation, is like the best thing that they do is that they always, how to make friends and influence people and be a leader is make the other person feel really important. Don't even talk about yourself at all. And if you think about somebody who's like, if you think about them like, wow, they're so charismatic, they're such a great person, they literally never talk about themselves. They're always bringing up personal things about you. They ask you things that are important to you. One time I met this one guy, it was like my friend's dad. And I had never met him before, but I was really close to my friend. And when I got to her house, immediately he like brought up something that he knew about me from talking with my friend. And like immediately I felt super comfortable with him because he was like, "Oh, hey Dylan, I heard you like X, Y, and Z, whatever. Like, how's that going?" And I was like, wow, he actually brought up something. So like, and he, in this book, he says a lot, like use your like really great leaders, always remember names. So like, if you have, if you know your pastor's name, which, you do, address them by their first name, and it really helps them. So basically what I'm trying to say is keep the experience on them and not yourself, because that's how you're going to get people to like you. And in turn, this is like, you're going to get a bunch of tips if you follow this stuff. But also this is a really good book just for life in general. I don't know. Have you ever read this book?
I have not, actually. Yeah, I'll have to give it a...
It's pretty good. I haven't read the whole thing, but I've skimmed through it and read things. This is like people, like really good leaders and like business people, they say this is like their like leadership Bible. They'll keep it on their desk and go back to it. I need to reread it, speaking of which. But yeah, let's go through some of these. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say on that?
No, I think you pretty much covered that one.
Yeah. As a rider, oh yeah, you already went over that. I just started Uber and Lyft last week, and your channel has helped me significantly. I have done everything you have suggested, but today my tips were pretty low. But Monday I did really well, so I think sometimes it's just hit or miss. Keep the videos coming. So, exactly. Like, I don't know if I said this in the last video or not, but I used to play music out on the, on the street, I guess, but it was like in front of a pier. And I would play music, I'm singing, playing music, and a lot of times people come by, they stop and they listen to you, and, you think you're like, oh, I'm going to get a great tip. And then they just walk. They don't tip you at all.
People are unpredictable sometimes.
But what I found is that, like, every single hour that I was out there, I'm at least going to get, like, one or two people who's going to throw me a $20 bill. Like, this is all statistics game. Like, it's almost like an on average. And the more things you do to get more tips, on average, like, you're going to start getting more. And no, not every day you're going to get, a grand slam tipping day. But, like, on average, they will go up. That's what I found. I don't know.
I think if you do these tips that Dylan's providing, it will definitely help your experience and your passengers, which therefore is going to give you a good tip.
Yeah. I bet she is Aries and Dylan is Libra.
Sam Smith, I'm actually a Taurus. I'm not an Aries, so...
Taurus? I don't know anything about Taurus.
Oh, no, it's the one... Yeah, I'm a Taurus. Yeah, I'm a Taurus. Yeah,
I think I'm Scorpio. I don't really follow that stuff.
I'm in May.
Abdullah Rabi says, excellent info about the age limit. Yeah. Don't accept underage passengers. Unaccompanied underage passengers. If they have an older person with them, they can come. She's the best guest yet.
Yay! Thank you.
Wow, we have a super fan here.
I appreciate that.
Hey there, my llama and Yod said hi to both of you.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe llama and Yod means something in a different language. I don't know. Maybe he's referring to us as that. Hopefully that's a good thing.
I wonder if I'm llama and you're Yod, or the other way around.
I don't know.
Let us know.
Allison and Josie should be back on. Yeah, they'll be on soon. Kevin should be back on. Yeah, he'll be back on. He's in the other room. He's my roommate. Thanks so much for answering my questions today. I find your channel looking for tips on Lyft and now subbed for more live streams like this. Have a good day, y'all, and drive safe.
Oh, those are Abdullah's kids.
Oh, what did he say about that? Hey
Remember,
there.
he said.
Oh, your kids say. Oh, hi,
hello.
Hi, Yama. Hi, Yad. Llama. Lamha. How do you say that? Llama? I don't know. Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Got the family on the live stream. That's awesome. All right, moving on. So, reason number 7, we're going to try to wrap this up pretty soon. Reason number 7, your pastors aren't tipping you. You want to talk about this one?
Like we kind of touched on, you need to be a safe driver. And so if you're blowing through stop signs, you're flooring it when it's a yellow, if you're not following basic traffic laws, as a passenger, I'm not going to feel safe. And so I'm not going to give you the tip that you think you deserve. Yes, getting there efficiently is great, but personally, I'd rather the driver take a minute or two slower to get me there and be a safe, enjoyable ride versus me holding onto the handle, wondering, oh my God, am I going to eject out of the car at any moment?
Yeah. Yeah, literally, there's so many times where I've taken a ride as a passenger as well, and the drivers just don't follow common traffic laws. And even, I don't know why, but, passengers have an expectation that, not all of them, but some do, that, their driver's just gonna, I don't know.
Oh, I expect my driver to follow the laws of a driver. You have a driver's license. Every driver is supposed to adhere to that.
Well, I was gonna say that some passengers, want drivers to cut corners.
Oh.
They'll be like, oh yeah, just turn right. Maybe it's don't turn. Sometimes there's no turning left, and it's kind of why is there a no turn left sign? They'll be like, oh yeah, no one will see. And I've been in an Uber pool before, and one of the girls was like, oh no, you can turn left, that way's faster. And the driver whipped a Yui in the double yellow line and caused this traffic jam. And
gosh.
Literally it was a 30-minute ride. The driver was super perfect, everything up until then. And then at that moment I was like, I did not want to be there. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Somebody brought up something that I was gonna say. I missed the first 5 reasons. Yeah, so just for the live viewers right now, the first one was don't go to the gas station in the middle of a trip, which happens a lot. Have gas before. Don't have your car smell bad. Don't talk on the phone. Don't text and drive or use your GPS. Use your phone hands-free. Tip number 5 is you're not talking to them at all. You're not greeting them. Tip number 6 is you're talking too much. And the one we're on now, tip number 7, is follow traffic laws. Yeah. And even if you're at a red light and, cars are zooming by and you're thinking okay, I gotta inch forward and try to get it. Just relax. Wait till the light turns green. It's way better to be safe than cut a corner.
Better safe than sorry, for sure.
Better safe than sorry. Don't speed either. If you're on the freeway, I know everyone on the freeway speeds. Go to the pull to the right lane and go the speed limit, or go follow the the flow of traffic. That's legal, but you don't need to be speeding. Yeah. What else? What are some other common ones? Speeding through yellow lights, like she already said. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Tip number 8, reason number 8 is that your car is dirty. So, yeah, a lot of times it's really easy to let your car get dirty when you're driving Uber and Lyft because people bring stuff in. They might leave stuff, or they're bringing crumbs or sand or whatever. And if you don't maintain your car, I mean, this is your value. So I heard one guy talk. He's been on my channel before. His name's Jacob. He was saying, like, it doesn't really matter what type of car you have. You can have, like, you know, whatever, like a 2010 Honda Civic.
Just an average car. An
average car. It could have, you know, normal scratches, normal dings on it. Whatever, you know, just a normal car. But, like, if the car has, like, a nice wash, the car's clean inside, that still provides value because it shows that you really care about what you do have rather than what you don't have. And so you can still create that value and, a nice experience having a clean car in whatever car you have. Have you ever had gotten into a car that was dirty?
Well, I've gotten into a car where we were talking earlier, if I'm trying to put like groceries or something in, the trunk is completely filled with things. And I think as a driver, you should expect, be prepared for passengers to use your trunk possibly. I wouldn't necessarily say expect it, but it might happen. I've also seen where sometimes there's been like a bag of chips or like a sweaty towel. It's like, I know.
A sweaty towel?
That's from the gym locker room experience, I told you, but like, basic thing is, I know it's tricky, but I would say probably after the night of driving, just like clean out your car the morning before you start.
Yeah, definitely. Someone says she's very serious. She means business.
Well, we're here to make sure you get those tips.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is really serious. Like we're saying, like passengers are trusting you as the driver with their safety, with their life. So some of the stuff we do need to be really serious about. I do like to incorporate like fun ways to make more tips, but at the same time, like I also make videos on rideshare safety, like rideshare insurance and things in order to provide a safe experience. So yes, I do need to be serious at some times. Dylan will have 1 million views in no time. I'm very proud of Dylan.
Dylan's working hard.
Thank you, Sam Smith. I'm really proud of you getting that Grammy recently.
I think it's a different Sam Smith, but
No, I do have Sam Smith on here.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I also have like Rihanna too.
Maybe Lady Gaga's on there as well.
Bradley Cooper. All right, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Tip number 9. You want to talk about this one? Because you came up with this one.
Yeah, so obviously having like floor mats in your car is a good way to keep it clean in case it's a rainy day and someone's got mud in their shoes. But I've noticed as a passenger, sometimes people will try to put like some sort of mats or like towels or whatever on the seats themselves. And yes, I get your car's clean, that's great, but from a passenger's point of view, it can almost be a little alarming. Like, oh my gosh, is there something in the car that I shouldn't touch? Does the driver not trust me?
Yeah.
You want to have a fine line of keeping your car clean. Like, floor mats are great, but don't make it overbearing where you kind of feel like you're like the bubble boy in a car and shouldn't touch anything.
Yeah, exactly. I think somebody else said, like, treat your passenger like you want to be treated. Just, like, picture how you would want to sit into a car. What is it, like those plastic sheets that you put on couches or something?
Where it's all crunchy when you sit down.
You sit down, it's like... Also let me know what do you guys drive for? Do you drive for Uber or Lyft? And then do you drive part-time, full-time? Let me know. And then also, I know this is a lot of questions, but where are you guys watching this from? I want to know. I'm pretty curious. We're out in sunny California, where it's I don't know, I just shared your location. Now they're gonna come find you.
I think California is pretty big. I'm not too worried about
We're in the United States of America, and it's kind of sunny out. But yeah, let me know where you guys are watching this from. All right, so we're wrapping it up. Tip number 10. Reason number 10. Drum roll, please. Don't spill the water.
Oh, sorry.
Water's splashing everywhere. Are you guys ready for this? Tip number 10. Reason number 10 why your passengers aren't tipping you. You're creepy. Okay? I know nobody wants to hear that. It's not a bright reality to hear, but if you're being creepy to your passengers, they might even report you. You can get reported for being like, just maybe you might think, oh, there's a connection with my passenger, whatever. I want to get her number or his number.
That's happened before.
Just don't. This is your job, okay? Don't risk getting deactivated for. I mean, have you had a creepy passenger before?
Well, yeah, one time I was driving from the airport, and I was just, like, talking with the driver, felt normal, and then he's like, I don't usually do this, but, can I get your number? And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested, thank you, have a good day. And, like, honestly, I thought the ride was going great up until then, you know? Like, I don't expect when I'm getting in an Uber to possibly, like, get some sort of romantic relationship out of that, like...
Definitely.
You want to just get where you're going safely.
Yeah, and this is pretty serious, guys. Like... the Uber and Lyft, they want to create this platform for people to get from A to B, and in the safest way possible. It's not a dating site. It's not a dating platform. So I know like you guys might be laughing watching this, but like it is almost like kind of funny that I have to bring it up, but it is, this is not time to like, strike up setting up a date. There's other services for that. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about that?
Like the one lady said, just treat the passengers how you want to be treated. I'm sure if you're having a busy day, you don't want to have someone kind of like force a conversation or do something crazy. Just relax and take it easy. Yeah, I mean, if your passenger's like hitting on you or whatever, like you can report that. Yeah, I mean This is not the time and place for that. Yeah. I took someone today with a service dog, which I know we have to take. Her dog trashed my seat with hair and sand, and I had to go offline to clean. Okay, this is important. As an Uber and Lyft driver, when you signed up to be a driver, you signed a contract, right? Terms of service. In that contract, you said that under every circumstance, you will accept a service animal. A lot of people have disabilities. This is some people are blind or some people are handicapped, and they need a service animal in order to function, in order to, operate their daily life. So as an Uber and Lyft driver, if somebody requests that, Uber and Lyft has committed to allowing service animals into their car. Which I think is great as a passenger. Yeah. So, there's two questions you can ask them if they in order to verify that it is a service animal. You can ask them, hey, is this a service animal? I'll get into that after. And then the follow-up question is you can ask them, what is the service for? This is a very normal question because as an operator of the car, you can know like how to assist them if you need to, just so you know. So you can ask those two questions. Now, I want to specify that an emotional support dog is not a service animal. So just because somebody gets a dog for emotional support, I know a lot of people do that for like, if their apartments have no dog policy, sometimes they can, wiggle their way in with saying, oh, it's for emotional support. That doesn't classify as a service animal. A service animal is specifically for a disability. So by all means, you can deny an emotional support dog. And also a follow-up, if it's a service animal and the dog leaves a bunch of hair on or like, I don't know, pees in the car, whatever it might be, you can get a cleaning fee for that. So just take photos of it. Yeah, hair and sand, and I had to go offline to clean. So take photos of it, and this just goes for any time someone throws up in your car or spills a big mess. Take photos of it and then report it to Uber or Lyft, and then they'll give you a cleaning fee for that. I think one thing that every driver should be aware, you need to be very careful when you phrase what is the service for, because sometimes things aren't necessarily visible to the eye for a disability. So just when you say that question, make sure it's very calm and collected. You don't want to come across as you're like interrogating the passenger for that. Definitely. Because it could be something personal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, take a pic, get the cleanup fee. I drive for both in Maine. Oh, you drive for Uber and Lyft in Maine? Awesome. Maine is a cool state. I've been there once. It was very cold. And snowy. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's just about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining the live stream. Thanks for having me on.
yeah, thank you for joining. It was a lot of fun. So guys, I usually go live at around 6 p.m. randomly throughout the week. This is just kind of random. So maybe I'll start going live throughout the day as well, here and there. But anyways, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you're an Uber or a Lyft driver, subscribe so you get notified anytime I post a new video. And yeah, like I said, there's videos on how to be a better driver, how to make more money, safety tips. Basically, I try to cover anything that has to do with rideshare. I also talk about like updates in the app, or like Uber and Lyft they just filed for their IPO. So like I talk about that stuff as well. Then I have guests on to make it more interesting, because some people get tired of seeing my face all day, and I like to bring in new guests all the time. So yeah, Liz has been awesome, and give the thumbs up if you want Liz to come back. And yeah, any final words?
Thanks for having me, and remember, do these tips and hopefully you'll get more tips.
Oh, I like that one. That's not a pun, is it? That's just alliteration. Yeah. I'm not a literary expert. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and merch is dropping. Merch is coming soon, so stay tuned for that. All right, see you all next time. All right, bye.
That was